What up? It's your boy T-Red Reaction, and today is Wrestling Wednesday or Wrestling Reactions. This is we'll do another of the 10 videos from wrestling. This is more 10 dumb stuff from wrestling via what culture. This one is 10 dumb WWE return we didn't want to admit was genius. Now this is returns that at first is like why, but at times it will been beneficial for a storyline or in case something meaning better than it is. Who knows? Other than that, though, we're gonna check these out. So let's see what 10 dumb WWE returns we didn't want to admit was genius. It's probably the last one we'll do for a while till we do another one. There's a newer one, but I ain't doing that because it's about something I don't rock with. That's heels. But anyway, other than heel turns and other than that, let's get it.
Is there anything better than a wrestling return? I don't think there is. In fact, if somebody told me that was my whole role in sports entertainment, I'd take it. The adrenaline, the pump, rewatching it on YouTube, it's the best. Nice. They hold so much power, WWE has brought some truly crazy people back in the past. Damn it, it worked. Sort of. I am Simon Miller, though, and here's 10 that seemed absolutely nuts and then sort of worked themselves out. Number 10, Mabel in 1999. Yeah. Even The Undertaker during recent interviews has said during the mid-90s he did not like working with Mabel. Why?
When he came to the Royal Rumble and got Cash to become Viscera. Okay, yep. That was genius.
To hurt people. In fact, Mabel's big push was stopped because he crushed the dead man's ribs. So when Vince McMahon made the decision to bring him back at the 1999 Royal Rumble, some people scratched their heads. Turned out it was in fact The Undertaker who had a role for him, because almost instantly his Ministry of Darkness druids kidnapped the big man and turned him into Viscera. He was going to be their bodyguard. Now, it turned out this was actually a super smart move because today, this is the character he's best known for. The less is more shtick worked great, and maybe Nelson Frazier knew what it was like to lose his job the first time. Let's not do it again. I don't think later making him the world's largest love machine was a good plan, but hey, by that point, he was pretty much re-established. So overall, this was a mess.
And that crazy sus-ass finisher you have him doing. Lord have mercy.
Massive net positive. Number 9, the Headbangers in 2016. It sort of feels like Mosh and Thrasher don't get their plaudits these days. They were an important part of the Attitude Era, and they fit into the tag team scene nicely. And one day, they were just gone. Right. The gimmick had sort of aged out by 2016, which is why it was super strange when WWE brought them back. But let's look at the lay of the land. Nostalgia works for one, and the SmackDown Tag Team division desperately needed new teams. Bingo. I mean, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but Heath Slater and Rhino were the champions at the time, which was the ultimate in let's just throw two singles guys together and hope. Fans never buy it. So when the Headbangers did return, they felt like an actual unit, which is why WWE got rid of them way too soon. Once they had found the momentum, it absolutely would have worked.
Oh, that's right.
Instead, it was more something
I forgot they was like one of the first promos for the new for the Usos' new look is right when he dropped the tribal Zevatal gimmick and went to the Uso pin sheet. Y'all, I remember that. And the only thing else is that it was cool, but the only thing definitely sucked about it also, other than being dropped too soon, they ain't let them have their original music. They gave them some new random ass call rock theme. It was ridiculous.
Because we have to do something. I mean, you could have even involved their personalities down the line. I tell you, my friends, we did not give this one a chance. Number 8, the New Age Outlaws in 2014. Yeah. This is very similar to our last entry. Why are Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg hanging around in 2014? Well, I'll tell you. People were very excited to see them. I suppose the surprise came in the fact the pair had made some cameos already, and we thought that was that. Then nope, from nowhere they were doing a full-time run. At the Royal Rumble, they even beat Cody Rhodes and Goldust for the tag titles, and man, nobody saw that coming, and it wasn't a short thing. They held on to those until March. The Usos eventually beat them for the belt, and that was it for the Outlaws, although they still did have jobs backstage. So it just worked, and likely helped Jimmy and Jay somewhat too. If they had overstayed their welcome, this may have been different, but they didn't. So I didn't need to say that. This was well balanced.
And then they also had them part of the Authority too. That was pretty cool. So yeah.
7, James Ellsworth in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
From surprisingly getting over after a Braun Strowman squash match to Carmelo whooping his ass in 2017 and sending him packing, James Ellsworth had quite the good run in WWE. He then shocked everybody when he returned in 2018.
Yo,
This was the Money in the
he
Bank
was doing
pay-per-view where Ellsworth
Oscar
ran in
dirty.
to help Carmella beat Asuka to retain the women's title. He was gone a month later.
That's what he's doing. Oscar dirty, yo, man. I ain't like that.
So this was very much used as a get-out-of-jail-free card. But look at it this way. James should have been Mella's long-term sidekick, and there was no need story-wise to stop it when we did. So getting a few more weeks out of the relationship did achieve this, and it protected Asuka. Never gonna get mad at that. She's all-time levels, and everybody should always be protecting Asuka. So, yeah, I do get it. One way it feels pointless, but on the other, it's better than some stupid finish where Carmella fakes a leg injury and then does a roll-up. That makes Asuka look stupid, so this one gets a tick. Number 6, The Big Boss Man in 1998. Yep. The Big Boss Man, or Ray Traylor, does not get the credit he is owed. Apart from being entertaining, people don't get how massive this dude was, yet he moved around effortlessly, born to do it. Around 1997 into 1998, he was doing okay work in WCW, which is why when he returned to the WWF in October, fans were a bit confused. If you didn't watch World Championship Wrestling, it was the cartoon cop from the early 90s, and if you did, well, yeah, he hadn't done all that much down there. I would assume that was on the company, though, because in the role as McMahon's henchman, the Big Boss Man absolutely excelled. He was also a brawl machine, and when he won the Hardcore title, he even made it feel a little bit more legitimate. The man was just perfect for the corporation, too.
You know, it didn't capitalize like crazy, but that feud with Al Snow was pretty cool. Just the outcome of that Kill Him from Hell match. Whew, y'all saw the reaction. Y'all saw my reaction to that. Yeah.
Every time he was in the ring, he got the job done. Also, do you remember when he threw the nightstick at Survivor Series 1998? Even that was spot on. I love this guy. I can't even imagine the big old feud with Steve Austin without him. So can we please make some more noise about the Boss Man? He's just so good. Number 5, the Spirit Squad in 2016.
Yeah.
So, as we always remember, the Spirit Squad was just Mikey and Kenny. There was nobody else. I mean, that's not true, but The Miz still did bring back these two people in their Spirit Squad gear to wind up Dolph Ziggler during their feud. Yep. Well, I actually thought it worked. I wouldn't say they had the ultimate nostalgia ping, but fans remembered these guys. They were so annoying they got heat. It didn't even matter it was just these two either, because it was enough to point and laugh at Dolph. Ha ha, this is what you used to do, what an idiot. It was a good use of storytelling too, to reward people that do watch all the time. And go back and check this out. It could have been over the top, but it wasn't. The Miz versus Ziggler for the IC title was actually really intriguing because of
And shout out to Kenny doing his thing backstage as a producer and on-screen security as well too.
Moments like this, we allowed them to go all in. When it came to the mid-card, that wasn't always the case. Kenny Dykstra and Mike Mondo also just threw themselves into it because they did understand the assignment. Just gonna sum it up in a headline. I thought this was really entertaining. Number 4, The Big Show in 2020. So it's pandemic time, meaning things that would have been awful actually turned out to be wonderful. It was an odd period. I suppose you could put it down to desperation and the fact we had WrestleMania 36 in a flipping warehouse. Poor Drew McIntyre had his big WWE title moment in front of no one. It was still great for him, but yeah, come on. Just a big fat no. To try and keep events interesting, the powers that be did think outside the box, or a box-like structure. So as we learned on Raw the next night, when Drew versus Brock Lesnar was over and done with, the Big Show had swanned to the ring. What? The Giant got under McIntyre's skin and got him to put his title on the line, with the story being that maybe, just maybe, the Scottish Warrior had one of the shortest reigns ever. It was also a Hail Mary for the Big Show. He needed to get back on track. It just meant there was something to continue this narrative in a world where we were trying to make sense of it. So no, it wasn't great, all things considered, but seeing Show return from nowhere after barely doing anything in 2020 actually got us through another week. That was the MO here.
One thing,
let's just get it done.
One thing about though, I think a lot of people was not feeling his run, Drew running over that matchup. I mean, it wasn't that serious, man. I thought it was cool. I mean, they had Big Show hop on wanted to get his first opponent for the title. That was cool, but you know, folks were trying to downplay it already over that, like. And they always did it was a face wrestle about that.
As best we can. Number 3, Goldberg in 2024. This one was very recent, depending on when you watch this video.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's 2079 and I sound like an idiot. It did happen at the Bad Blood pay-per-view that year, though, just after Triple H had revealed the Crown Jewel titles.
You might still get
that
match between him
As
and
we were in
Gunther.
Atlanta, however, we had some wrestling legends in the crowd, one of which was Bill Goldberg. Makes sense. This was his turf. Because Gunther had marched out during this, though, he took a shot at Goldberg and called him a 3-minute merchant, and you can't do that. Bill was furious and stood up when 55,789 security guards ran out to stop them. Even then, though, the seeds had been planted. It's also now been confirmed that Goldberg will have his retirement match in 2025, and yeah, it should be Gunther.
Yep.
People get mad about this, but come on. We have 365 days of wrestling, and if we can have the Ring General and Bill just go nuts for a short amount of time before Gunther wins,
it
great.
should do it.
I think that will be super fun. This segment was good too, and whether people like it or not, there's a lot of fans who do tune in when Bill is on the screen. You can also sell his last fight ever as a huge moment. If you time that right, this momentum will just keep WWE going and going and going.
Dude.
So he's quite smart as far as I'm concerned and shows that management are thinking about the future. Once again, there was a time that never happened.
You're right.
Ready to go. Number 2, Nia Jax in 2023.
Yo.
I get grief from the crazy.
You know, she's doing her. She's been doing her thing, doing a little bit better in this return than in this run than her last run. You know, she's hell still.
Anytime I say this, but I do not care. It's true. Nia Jax's comeback has been great. She's just so good at being Nia Jax. And while that sounds ridiculous, it's a classic case of leaning into your strengths and seeing what happens. It is still accurate that at the 2023 Royal Rumble, a lot of people went, what? But ever since she settled back into her role, I think she's had her best run ever. That's awesome, it's what you want. Triple H just knows how to book her, and a world title win in 2024 has been a laugh riot. It's also going to help Tiffany Stratton as well, and that's wrestling, man. It's called the Circle of Life. She fits into the roster perfectly and adds something a little bit different. And if this does continue on the same track, Jax could even have a successful babyface run. She does have those chops too. Remember that feud with Alexa Bliss all those years ago?
Yep.
So there's loads we can do here. I am a fan. Number 1.
Although it's not like they're gonna keep Tiffany as the heel, she do try to cash on Nia. I mean, I don't mind Nia Jax face run, but I'd rather Tiffany get the face rub because she needs it, man. She deserves the fans, you know, have a chance to demonstrate the fans, you know. And you know what? I always say, out of this is my version, you know. I say, despite the controversy and all that, this version of Hogan is my favorite. I don't care. I like him better than the old school. Or say your prayer, eat your vitamin, Hogan. No lie, because a mixture of that and Hollywood Hogan on the cool. So yeah, because it was rare we get like a babyface like version of Hollywood Hogan. That's why.
Hulk Hogan in 2002. The last year of Hulk Hogan in WCW was awful.
Yep.
He was as much to blame as anybody else, and it meant that when there was a rumor WWE may be interested in 2002, nobody wanted it, not even the wrestlers. There's plenty of reports from the likes of The Rock and Steve Austin who didn't fancy Mr. Politics walking into the backstage area and causing a fuss. We still pulled the trigger in February at the No Way Out pay-per-view, and it was weird. The NWO pretended they were just here to make friends.
Yep.
After that, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall didn't have the best time. The former Diesel struggled with injuries, whereas Razor Ramon never got over his personal issues.
Yeah.
That was a real shame. What we learned during this period, however, is that Hulkamania had not died, and the old school WWF fan didn't care that Hogan had spent the last 7 years in WCW. They just remembered their childhood memories, so before long, somehow Hulk had become the biggest babyface ever again. We all know the deal at WrestleMania 18, but that bled into a world title run, which wasn't actually a bad idea.
It wasn't.
It was almost willed into existence, but I tell you, that wasn't the general consensus at first, and after all was said and done, well, it was the right move. What Terry Bollea decided to do after this was horrendous, but in terms of his sports entertainment return, well, I think it probably worked out better than anybody expected. Know of any other nuts WWE returns that actually turned out to be pretty brilliant? Make sure you let us know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video.
Yeah, indeed. This was all good. This was pretty good as well, too. Some new returns as well, too. So this was like a good little pick state had for this. So yeah, other than that, though, which one y'all agree with? If you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.